This is Module 2, Part 1, Parties to a Crime. An accomplice is someone who knowingly and willingly associates with another in commission of a crime. An accomplice is also someone who assists another person in the commission of a crime. This can be offering words of encouragement, providing a weapon to be used in commission of the crime, serving as a lookout, or driving a vehicle used to escape commission of the crime. Accomplice liability is the accountability of one person for the criminal act or the acts of another person. And this is justified by a person intentionally participating in the criminal goal, a person who voluntarily identifies with the primary perpetrator of the crime, and someone who willingly consents to the same criminal liability. There are 4 categories of accomplice liability that were found in the common law. Number 1 is the principal in the first degree. This is the primary actor or perpetrator of the crime. This is the person that physically commits the criminal act. The second category is the principal in the second degree. This is one who intentionally assists in the commission of a crime in his or her presence. This person could be at the scene or in the vicinity. The third category is accessory before the fact. This is a person who intentionally counsels, solicits, or commands another in committing a criminal act. The accessory before the fact is usually not present during commission of the crime. The last category of accomplice liability in the common law is the accessory after the fact. This is a person who intentionally aids another he or she knows committed a felony in order to help that person avoid prosecution and punishment. For example, a person who gives another person a place to hide, provides them a plane ticket, or provides them a vehicle to escape. Under the Model Penal Code, principals, aiders, abettors, and accessories are all treated as principals, except a person who is an accessory after the fact. Within accomplice liability is the actus reus. The law requires an act or conduct contributing to the commission of a crime, and this occurs in 2 ways. They are affirmative acts, which means the accomplice provides physical assistance, such as casing a property, planning, providing a weapon or weapons, preventing assistance to any victims, or driving the escape vehicle. Affirmative acts are also psychological influence words of encouragement, providing assurances at the scene, or provoking someone to commit a crime. There is no requirement of a certain level of aid to be an affirmative act within accomplice liability. The second way is through acts of omission. This is the failure to act, and this can make a person complicit if the person has a legal duty to act. The person must act with intent, meaning they have the mens rea to help the perpetrator accomplish the crime. The Model Penal Code requires a person to act with the purpose of promoting or facilitating the crime to be liable as an accomplice. Under the Model Penal Code, accomplice liability is dependent on the accountability test, meaning a person solicits another to commit a crime, aids, agrees, or attempts to aid another to commit or plan a crime, and has a legal duty to prevent a commission of a crime, but does not make an effort to do so. The mens rea of accomplice liability requires the intent or the mental state to contribute to a crime, including a person aiding or assisting another in the commission of a crime, possessing the intent to support or encourage the commission of a crime, or intends that the primary party commit the underlying offense. Purpose and knowledge in terms of determining accomplice liability means that purpose is a mental state of intent, and it's demonstrated by one person providing an item critical to commission of a crime by another person. Knowledge is that one's act may contribute to commission of a crime, and that must be accompanied by a purpose. The extent of liability attributed to an accomplice is a critical factor. The natural and probable consequences doctrine means that an accomplice is liable for the offense intended that they're attempting to facilitate or encourage, as well as any reasonable, foreseeable offense committed by the person aided and abetted. Natural and foreseeable consequences are those additional criminal acts that is necessary to accomplish the criminal goal. Negligent acts means that the liability can extend to the accomplice when the primary actor acts negligently or recklessly. Three factors that affect the relationship between the principal and accomplice are: number one, the innocent agent or instrumentality. A person, animal, or object that cannot be culpable because of inability to form intent, but is used by the principal to commit a crime by coercion, force, or trickery, affects the relationship. Feigning primary party. The principal pretends to have intent to commit a crime, but does not actually possess the intent. If the accomplice carries through with elements of culpability, he or she can be convicted, even though the primary party doesn't go through with the crime. Another factor affecting the relationship between principals and accomplice is when the principal is acquitted. The accomplice usually escapes prosecution, but can still be prosecuted when a technicality or other excuse prevents prosecution of the principal. There are some issues in accomplice liability. Accomplice may be convicted of a more serious crime than the principal. The courts look at each participant's mens rea as well as actus reus of the principal. How about abandonment? The accomplice may abandon the agreement to contribute to the crime. In order to be excused as an accomplice, the accomplice must inform the principal of the intent to leave the agreement. They must reclaim any aid provided to the principal. And this action, this abandonment action, must be made prior to commission of the crime. How about accomplice liability versus conspiracy? Conspiracy is a partnership between two or more people to achieve a criminal purpose or achieve a lawful purpose using criminal methods. There must be an agreement for an ongoing criminal enterprise of activity for it to be considered a conspiracy. A co-conspirator is liable for any acts or criminal conduct committed by other co-conspirators in furtherance of the enterprise. This is what's known as the agency theory. It only takes agreement to be in the enterprise. It doesn't necessarily take action. According to the Pinkerton doctrine, a person associated with a conspiracy is culpable for any criminal act committed by a co-conspirator if the act is within the scope of the conspiracy and is a foreseeable result of the criminal scheme, even if he or she did not assist, intend to commit, or wish to occur